Thanks to them is the first of 3 specials that will make up the 3rd season of The Owl House. In it, the Owl Gang kids are stuck in the human world and try to get back to the Bowling Isles. Shenanigans ensue. Strap in, this is going to be a long one, there's a ton of references. This episode's a longer special. You can actually watch this on Disney Channel's YouTube, like the pilot. There's been a couple other episodes that were uploaded but then later taken down, but like the pilot, I think this one's just going to stay around for a while. The episode opens literally with the end of the last episode, except Keen's lines off screen. We even still have the amphibia reference. We continue forward, and Amity gives Camilla some tea. But you can see that the tea bag is on the outside of the cup, so she just gave her a boiling cup of water. Spooky band-aids, because it's September, and you can see a reference to Keen, Ida, and Hootie. We get a decent scene between Hunter and Luce being guilty about what they did and what they are. But Luce being Luce says they'll eventually tell them. They tell Camilla what happened last episode, but Luce made it across the portal. The boys get to crash in the basement. You see hanging on the wall the Romeo and Juliet dress from episode 1. It even has some sausage stains. And then Gus finds a bunch of references. A wall-mounted Dominican and a tiny Puerto Rican flag, a box with Manny written on it, which we find out is Luce's dad's name, and a guitar case that has a rose and a bicolor flag on it. So this is either Luce's case or Camilla and or Manny might secretly be bi and play the guitar. Hunter thanks Camilla in the most Hunter way possible. The girls all get to share a room. Thankfully, despite Luce being an only child, she has a bunk bed. And apparently they also have 2 extra little beds. We see that this is a boots at the door kind of house, and Amity wears full leggings. And after her and Willow kill an alarm, we see a sticky note left by V, welcoming Luce home, and we get a really nice scene between Camilla and Luce, where she's happy to see her daughter, but Luce is sad that everyone's far from home. We also see the photo of Luce's family from yesterday's lies, now with Manny's face revealed. This leads us into the intro. Luce's Chromebook has a bunch of stickers on it, like most people's Chromebooks. It has a couple stars, an infinity, an Azura staff, and probably a custom-made owl sticker. This very Windows Movie Maker looking intro is by Lumity Studios. Lumity is the ship name between Luce and Amity. It's a slideshow, much like this video, showing a photo from Grom, a new photo of Luce and Amity hanging out in her secret spot in the library in Lost in Languages, a photo of Luce and Amity looking at shooting stars taken by Keen and Hootie, a really cute photo of them being together, and hi, I'm bi. So this is Luce coming out to her mom, and she's very proud and supportive of her. Suck it, Disney. Gus, Willow, and Amity draw photos of their family they're missing. Gus only has his dad, and Amity has finally disowned Odalia. Luce draws up ideas for the new portal door. Possums are real! The Demon Kids try on cool new drip. Willow's rollerblade gear has a tank top very similar to the iconic sweater of Mabel from Gravity Falls. Amity looks very slay, looking like a cool Monster High doll, and Hunter's wearing a flapjack costume, which is adorable. Camilla has a supportive rainbow heart pin, and she's starting to have gray in her hair. Well, I mean, you try raising 6 kids. V gets a new human disguise. This is adorable, I love it. Hunter gets a book on witch hunting, and in the reflection he sees Caleb and Bellos, and then finally himself. This is what it looks like when anyone tries to cut their own hair. So Willow helps him out, giving him basically a loose cut. Also, he's wearing a Rocco's Modern Life shirt. I like his long hair because of course I do, but I understand why he cut it, due to both Caleb and Philip having long hair. This is our first really good look at Caleb. We also see everyone's toothbrushes. Blue for Gus, he taped it to the wall. Willow used a little vine to hang it off the side of the medicine cabinet. And I guess Amity's pink and Hunter's red, and they get to share a little cup, and then I guess Luce and Camilla gets to put theirs in the medicine cabinet. Also, as someone online noted, this is actually our first time seeing Hunter's hands. Every single time beforehand, we saw him in gloves. But you know, sometimes gloves are just gloves. The game makes their first attempt at a portal door with a bunch of glyphs, some vines, a couple of skulls we're not questioning how they got, TV, and the palismen get to run on hamster wheels, and it sort of works for a second until it explodes. Gus tosses a fire extinguisher at it. I wonder when binging with Babish is going to make this. And then it starts raining. Apparently this snail's meant to be Bessie from Amphibia. Luz goes to feel the first couple drops like she said she wanted to do in The Intruder. And Luz shows Amity that the rain in the human world's okay. Even though the first time she made it to the human world it was raining, but hey look, they're wearing matching pajama bottoms, that's cute. Everyone plays in the rain, cute Lumity pose, and we cast a light glyph similar to the other intros, because Luz can't really cast a glyph because they don't work in the human world while Titan Blood. And then Luz gets her design for the rest of the special. Ida's Grudge jersey, an orange beanie with what looks like the Oracle Coven pin, but in lavender, and a bye pin. Also, Amity left a little sticky note. Heart you, Luz. It's now Halloween, and the scariest part is Luz has to go to school. Honestly, this is probably one of the best scenes in the Owl House. The visual storytelling is great, recapping what the major events these people have been up to for the last 2 months been. If the show wasn't cut down, this easily could have been the first half of the season. Meanwhile, the demon kids aren't going to normal school, but they still have to learn Spanish, and they converted the old house into their little playshed. V knows perfect Spanish, and she becomes top student. Amity notes that she used to be top student all the way back in I Was a Teenage Abomination. They're learning Spanish via a parody of Duolingo. Duolingo is one of the more popular language learning apps, and it's infamous for constantly reminding you to do your studies. This is not the only reference to Duolingo that the crew has made. Anyways, Gus is dressed like a cool kid. He's wearing the looking glass relic he got from Adrian, finally on his ear like Adrian does. Hunter's dressed like Arthur. Willow and Amity are dressed like alternative lesbians. Amity's hair's grown a little, which looks nice. But also her hair dye is starting to fade and we can see her roots. Willow's hair is similar but now has braids. Someone's painted a hoodie on the door.
Yeah, he still confuses us too.
Hola, Camila. We're learning Spanish from the Scary Owl app.
Hoot hoot, practice every day.
Or I'll appear in your nightmares.
Camila says she's going to pick up Luz from school and ask them how to say that in Spanish with actual subtitles.
Voy a luz escuela?
Voy a recoger a Luz de la escuela.
Muy bueno. Keep it up.
Amity notes they've been there for months. So, assuming at minimum, Bello said the Day of Unity would happen in exactly 1 month since Coven Day, and reaching out happened in August 25th. So, at earliest, that means the Day of Unity happened at least in early September, and then everyone was sent to the human realm after that. And now it's almost Halloween, so that means they've been here for a little under 2 months. Unless the show's going to pull a fast one on me and it's been over a year. Hunter's been sewing again, and on his jacket we could see one sleeve is completely different. He's got a pizza, wolf, rainbow, Japanese flag, mountains, and Dino Land, which is a reference to Jurassic Park. Amity thinks they should explore the human realm, thus comes to the same conclusion that Luz did in yesterday's lies, that there's probably something magical because Ida's been there. Just for suddenly, Flapjack digs up a box and it has a map inside. Alright. Meanwhile at school, Cool S, L plus A is Luz and Amity, and we see a bunch of the same kids we saw in the first episode.
Foes vanquished, he trod the shores of his fatherland, family by his side, finally at peace. This epic ends with the homecoming of not just a man, but a hero.
The class is learning fate versus free will.
Hero? Everywhere he went, people ended up suffering.
It does get bleak, but no one said his mission would be easy. And when you take into account the ripple effects of his actions...
Who cares about the ripple effects? He was just a pawn in someone else's game. And he was never smart enough to realize it. They should hate his guts. And it would be better if he literally never existed.
But for real, this is a good scene because fate versus destiny is kind of a big theme of the Owl House. Like all the way back in Witches Before Wizards with the idea that Luz isn't here because of some big epic prophecy. Or now more recently, Luz accidentally being the cause of the Day of Unity because she brought the Collector to Belos. The school's mascot is a wolf. Everything on the no sign is stuff that Luz did in the first episode. In Luz's locker, we see a bunch of drawings and papier-mâché makings of Keen and Ida. We also have a Grom photo.
Hey, you're Luz, right? Nice to meet you. You were right in class. We read about too many crusty old dudes. Give me books about crusty old women.
Ah, Tumblr users!
I used to know one. I've never seen you two around.
We're new, but we've heard all about you.
Are you gonna make another crazy costume for Halloween this year?
Because if you are, we're volunteering at the Haunted Hayride.
So after setting up that for later, as well as setting up that Bellows is around, Hunter's trying to conquer the sewing machine, and he made a new t-shirt with wolves on it, his favorite animal. This is probably a reference to Three Wolves Howling, which is one of those funny meme shirts that kind of just embodies the I'm looking for a cool black shirt, but I'm also poor, so this will do kind of shirt you'll buy at like Walmart or Amazon. And it's a big funny meme because someone left a joke review on it and it just became a big snowball thing. Gus's favorite animal seems to be dinosaurs because we keep seeing him with dinosaur stuff on. This is a good scene between the two, with Gus missing his dad and Hunter questioning what he wants out of his life, and the two bond over Cosmic Frontier. It's clearly a Star Trek novel. And apparently Camilla and also Manny are big fans. This mask is definitely a Star Trek mask. Ah, the collector found us! Nah, it's just a sticker. Luz gets up, and it's really nice that they all have beds. None of them have to sleep on the floor or like share beds with each other. Not that way, you weirdos. Camilla's still awake being a mom trying to figure out what their kids like. She has books like Vampire Diet, Halloween Treats because the demon kids, Feeding Your Manatee, that might be for V, Life Ain't Binary, Camilla trying to study more about LGBT stuff, and Not Binary, probably for V, also a Star Trek novel because she's a nerd secretly. She falls asleep and has flashbacks about the time Luz discovered some snake skins. They thought it was really fun, but it freaked everyone else out. And she remembers the Romeo and Juliet tryouts from episode 1. Camilla tries being supportive, but everyone else thinks she's weird. Also, one guy is wearing a Charlie Brown sweater. The human principal is being a very normal principal and hates the fact that Luz is being a normal kid, so tries sending her away. And we find out the reason why Camilla sent her to summer camp was because she wanted her to have a better life than she did as a kid. The guilt of this causes her to drown in her dream, and then she wakes up. She's surrounded by coupons because, again, she has 6 kids. There's no name brands in this house. Luz enters, and Camilla has a copy of the photo that Luz has on the bowling aisles. This is a very sweet scene, for Luz feeling bad for what she did, and Camilla trying to comfort her. On the nightstand, we see the snakeskin from the flashback, a couple photos of Manny, and an armband that's in the bicolors. The next day, the gang's gonna go adventure by themselves. Gus is in very casual wear, Willow looks like someone's mom, and Amity looks like someone's big sister. Her shirt has a cat face on it and says Boo because her palisman's name is Ghost.
Human disguise? Check.
That little guitar riff is the same little guitar riff we heard when Steve was introduced in O Titan Where Are Thou?
Oh, that is a look.
According to Cosmic Frontier, this is what the modern human male wears.
I don't think the world is ready for the brave fashion choices of the year 2008. Please change.
Don't listen to her.
Yeah, can't wait for that New Year's party.
Did you get to the last chapter?
Oh, Bailey is still hiding the fact that he's a duplicate and hyper disguise. But Captain Avery is figuring it out.
I think he already knows.
No, spoilers!
This is clearly hinting that Gus knows that Hunter is a Grimwalker. Also, the names O'Bailey and Captain Avery are direct references to Star Trek. With Deep Space Nine's O'Brien and Captain Avery Brooks, Willow is totally for it. Hunter has a kind of similar moment to that one moment of Anne in Amphibia. And then he finds some goop on the ground and just kind of rubs his fingers in it. First stop with the Demon Kids is they go to every single edgy witchcraft store that every city in New England has. They have costumes for Earthbound, Night in the Woods, and Little Witch Academia. They walk past the Brother statue and coffee shop from Yesterday's Lies. Amity doesn't know how to open a filing cabinet because the bowling aisles have weird filing cabinets, as we saw in Lost in Languages. The group Wizard of Oz walks into a giraffe enclosure. Ah, kill it! And eventually they go to the Gravefields Historical Society. That's under new management. That being Masha, who's one of V's friends from Yesterday's Lies. Guess they should have looked at the sign. This is the episode that introduces their name and the fact that they're non-binary, as the sign says, and also their nails. So wait a minute, that was a conversion therapy camp. What the fuck? Anyways, Masha says thank the goddess that Jacob is fired. The goddess is referring to, well, Masha's clearly like a new agey Wiccan pagan sort, so the Wiccan goddess is the maiden, the mother, and crone. The feminine trinity, often associated with the moon, kind of a new agey pagan takeoff of the Greek goddess Hecate, yes, that's the reference, and the Morgan from Irish mythology. V is totally crushing. Also, I just realized that Willow's wearing the hair clip from Wing It Like Witches. So yeah, Masha knows how to read the map, and it turns out to be a puzzle. You're supposed to, like, see these pictures and just kind of form a word from it. It is kind of a real thing, and it's kind of dumb, but, you know, it is real. And they realize this is a map to Titan's blood. V notes that they're very close, which, you know, it hasn't always been that way. And then they look at the scrapbook. Our first photo, we see a very unamused Willow and Amity watching Hocus Pocus. Luz and Amity finally getting their beach day. Them going river rafting. Willow and Hunter in the yard. Catching fireflies, which in the human realm do not breathe fire. Amity proves that it's really not that easy to draw circles. Bi heart, lesbian heart. And Luz and Amity having a milkshake date. Even though in Grom we learned that Luz is lactose intolerant. Is this an oversight by the show? Or just Luz putting up with her allergies to be with Amity? You decide. They're summer together. Even though it is the fall. Lumity kiss. Meanwhile, I think this is the first time we confirm that Camilla is a vet. Untitled Goose Game. Poster of Hop Pop from Amphibia. And Luz draws Polly from Amphibia while thinking of what the talisman will be.
Maybe you'll never hatch. And I messed up your life, too.
Meanwhile, Hunter's concerned about Bellows.
I was never scared as the Golden Guard.
Then how about we bring back some of that masked confidence, huh?
All right, Bellows. What's about to happen should be relatively painless, if you just do what we say.
This is Hunter quoting himself from Separate Tides.
Hello, criminals. What's about to happen should be relatively painless, if you just do what I say.
Also conveniently, they both found paper masks that look like Hootie and Keen, even with like a taped up horn. That moment when you remember that the Golden Guard mask is kind of like an owl. Also, he's wearing Crocs. And Luz's undershirt looks like her pilot designs. They explore the house, and eventually in the basement, it's just a possum.
You know, I just want to make sure everyone's safe.
Same. And that includes you, too.
What?
Yeah, gotta make sure you're safe, too, Hunter. Your family now.
Oh.
This is a great scene between the two. Luz accepting him into the family, and Hunter finally being a part of something. Back upstairs, Dominican flag, and they're deciding on what they're going for Halloween. Hunter and Gus are being the obvious. Camilla and her Garfield cub is concerned that she's getting exposed as a nerd. And Luz and Amity are going as a couple's cosplay of Azura and Hecate. They got a PS4, a Switch, and Gus finally got to eat some DVD. And in the Azura film they're watching, the evil Lucy is clearly meant to be Luz. They even have a multi-track outfit. That night, Luz records a audio diary. Her wallpaper is similar to the photo from earlier. Apparently she drew it, and her ad is at Friends of Owls and Titans. Original art, do not repost. Charge your laptop. U-Movies, that's like iMovie. Her video recorder has a Bill Cipher eye. The Good Witch Azura fanfiction. I wonder what she writes about. Moon Farm Valley, that's like Stardew Valley. Holler Knight, that's Hollow Knight. Hades, that's Hades.
Dear Diary, all I ever wanted was to be good at something. To be around people who also liked that something. And when I found the Demon Realm, I thought, wow, I found it. But I messed up too much. And put everyone in danger.
There's a good scene of Luz pouring her heart out, describing exactly what she feels in the moment. No wonder they made it the trailer. The next day, it's Halloween! Everyone got their costumes. Willow is a demon. Luz and Amity got their costumes, and they look different from Azura and Hecate we've seen before, but, you know, that's like unique movie design, I guess. This also reveals that Amity's necklace, we've seen for a while, is actually a Hecate necklace. Gus traumatizes some people reenacting the witch trials. The guy in the crowd is dressed like Grime from Amphibia. And then Jacob shows up out of nowhere to try and stop all this. But he's cancelled on Twitter. Then Masha tells the tale of the Whittaby brothers. Long ago, in 1613, 2 orphans came to Connecticut. Also, Caleb's blue jacket seems to be the one that Bellows wears in the future. And then they found a witch. Revealing the name of the witch's name is Evelyn, which is basically stating that they're a Clawthorn. Caleb went into the Bowling Isles. We see a little thing that looks like Flapjack. Philip went after looking for Caleb with a knife, and they were never seen again.
Sounds like Big Bro got a hot witch girlfriend and Little Bro got upset. But that's just me.
Yeah, sounds about right. Hunter thinks he sees Bellows, so him and Luce go into the woods to investigate. Camilla accidentally opens Luce's audio files. Apparently starting very young, I don't know how old his laptop is, then it jumps to right after Manny died. Apparently he bought the Good Witch Azura shortly beforehand. It became Luce's Comfort series. She tried cutting her hair with a sword, never tried to cut her own hair. There's a poster on the wall, Spirit Devourer, which is a reference to Soul Eater, which always oddly seems to be everyone's first anime they finished. This brings us right before the first episode, Resident Evil 4.
But I guess none of this is gonna matter on the SATs. It's been really rough for Mom since the funeral. So I'm gonna wow my teacher's face off with this book report. Mom, you won't have to worry about me ever again.
Of course, in America, your school scores matter more than yourself, which is stupid.
Mama says I have to learn from my mistakes. So I know what I have to do now. On Halloween, after the hayride, I'm telling everyone I'm staying in the human realm. Permanently.
Hunter and Luce get separated, but then... Now, a lot of people didn't really understand what was going on here, because in Young Blood Old Souls, people thought that the glyph didn't work. Well, technically it did, it just ate the paper. And then earlier in this special, we saw her draw a light glyph, and it didn't work. The reason why it ate the paper in the Young Blood Old Souls is because King was there, where you could say that Titan Blood is closer to the cabin. Either way, there's not a lot of that powerful magic blood there, so this does make sense for it just to eat the paper and not shoot a fireball. Either way, this leads them to a flooded graveyard, and Hunter is acting a bit weird. He destroys the map, and something's growing out of him.
Didn't you use an ice glyph to get here? Your magic is working. I saw you. Glyphs do work here.
Possessed Hunter. Ever since the reveal of the Collector's face in the Be Gay Do Witchcraft livestream, people always kind of assumed that the Collector looked a little like Luce, so there was just this eruption of people drawing like Luce being possessed and oddly being in her pajamas, or people thought that the Collector would possess Amity. So instead, we finally got a possession with Filter.
Ah, there you are.
Titan Blood as an Alcork.
You're not even trying right now. What? Afraid you'll hurt him? See, this is why you're so useful, Luce. You're so desperate to help people. You even helped me meet the Collector.
Whoops.
You did do something good. Your work as witch hunters, starting with that!
Smooth animation fight scene. This is the best animation in the show so far, and everyone gets a little time to shine during this fight. V ironically tries draining Philip. You think like she tried draining the demon kids because she needs magic to live. Luce actually does the dash teleport thing that Hunter does. Amity really is a mudbender. Filter grabs Flapjack and oh! Quick, someone run to Lowe's. Hunter tries fighting back.
You know what I'd like, Bellows?
This seems kind of familiar.
All I wanted was for you to love me, to accept me. I thought it was my honor that I wanted, but really, I was just trying to please you. You, my father, who banished me just for talking out of turn. My father, who challenged me, a 13-year-old boy, to an Agni Kai. How can you possibly justify a duel with a child?
Yeah, but for real, this is a good scene of Hunter telling Bellows off, and how he wants to be his own person now.
But most of all, I'd like to make sure you never hurt anyone again!
Camilla rescues Hunter because, well, of course, neither Hunter or Bellows would know how to swim. Bellows leaves Hunter's body, he smashes the Titan's blood against the gate thing, and he opens a portal. Also, someone repaired the ice bridge.
That's the Bellows you've been fighting this whole time?
Guys, Hunter isn't moving.
V's phone has a Nightmare Before Christmas case and a little 5 thing.
Do human doctors know about possession? Or Grimwalkers?
Possession?
Grimwalkers?
We should still call a doctor.
I'm not getting cell reception.
What do we do?
Flapjack actually decides to sacrifice himself so Hunter can live.
Hey, guys.
Possession somehow made Hunter's hair longer, and now his eyes are different colors because now they're a mixture between his old eyes and Flapjack's eyes. They're now soul bonded. Also, his scars are now bigger because, well, Bellows caused them to essentially rot. Lou spills the beans and tells everyone that Hunter's a Grimwalker and she accidentally helped Bellows get the collector, and she feels really bad for it. But Camilla actually stands up for this and says they're going to the Demon Realm. Everyone's actually very accepting about this and realizes that Bellows is a trickster, so they can't really be mad at her. So everyone's going, except V, she's staying behind. Amity has kind of a weird chin from the side.
Luce, I know things are scary, and I don't know what the future holds, but it would be so cool if you were a part of that. But no more hiding, okay?
Amity is quoting Luce from Knock Knock Knocking on Hootie's door.
Everything is so crazy right now, and I have no idea what my future holds, but it would be so cool if you were in it. So...
And they leave for the Isles. And V now has to bust the window open because Camilla took the keys. We actually get completely unique end credits with music and new art, with a collector-themed border around it. These drawings are honestly all really cute. Well, and this one's scary. Well, this one's sad. Well, this one's cool. The special is actual perfection. The animation's perfect, the storytelling's perfect, the characters are perfect, the music's perfect, the relationships are perfect, the jokes are perfect, the references are perfect and beautiful for the show, the representation's perfect. Really, the one thing I could say negative about this episode is the whole thing where Hunter picks at the snot with his fingers. It just seems a little contrived to get him possessed. Other than that, this is honestly one of the top 3 episodes of The Owl House. I just love it so much.
When the 5 horns cross, the 1000th war is born.
Presented by